Now, Tim Burton clearly appreciates your range as an actress, Helena. He's cast you as a monkey, a murderer's accomplice, and now a lovable lush in Dark Shadows. Are you always on the same wavelength when it comes to casting, and what did you make of being cast as Julia?
I wanted to play the witch, yeah. Michelle wanted to play the witch. It's the best part, but everyone got very good parts, but he said, I'm not going to, you've already been a witch. That is so boring. There's no way. Play an alcoholic psychiatrist. You've never done that. This is interesting. I said, okay. And then actually I grew to love Dr. Hoffman. I'm glad you say lovable, because she's flawed. She has her own problems, but I do think there's something that's lovable. I hope. I don't know, it's very difficult to see. I watched it the first time last night, so.
I think we want her as part of any family.
Yeah, you need a resident psychiatrist who's drunk.
So, I mean, at the core of the film is a very dysfunctional family, isn't it? So where does Dr. Julia sort of fit in with that?
In the heart of the dysfunction. She's been hired to principally look after young David, to help him overcome the death of his mum. But that was 4 years ago. She was only meant to stay for a month, and she seems to have just stayed. And I think she's probably got more problems and more dysfunction than the rest of the family. And then into their household comes this vampire who's a distant relative. Of course, she's never actually treated a vampire, so she finds him fascinating. She's deeply suspicious at first because he obviously doesn't say he's a vampire. Then she discovers, because she hypnotizes, and discovers that he's a vampire. And then she comes up with a plan, which I cannot really disclose.
And of course, we won't hypnotise you, but as you are sitting comfortably, how would you analyse Dr. Hoffman's feelings for Barnabas?
Barnabas, not totally. Unfortunately, I do sort of cross the patient, doctor-patient boundary thing. Won't go further than that.
But it's a brilliant moment that people will enjoy.
They might do, except my children would go along and would say, well, he's just doing up his laces, or, picking up his keys or something.
Yes, because it's fun for all the family. And
it is very all the family. And I did think, because I hadn't seen it, and last night, there's this amazing sex scene. But actually, you can still take children, there's nothing, you don't see anything. And there isn't too much violence. I mean, yes, he does kill a few construction people, but he is a vampire, but you don't actually see that much.
And it's all done with
It's pretty safe. It's all done. The main thing is it's all tongue-in-cheek. I mean, it shouldn't be taken too seriously.
Now, I've only quite recently come to the Dark Shadows original soap myself, and I'm already quite hooked on it. When did you
really?
become acquainted to it? And what did you make of it? Obviously coming into it a bit later than Johnny, Michelle and Tim did.
Yeah, I watched. Michelle was like the religious watch. She watched it like on a loop every single day. They're like 1,200 episodes. And it is hilarious. I know there's some real devotees out there who just love it, and God bless them. And this has all come from a total devotion that Johnny and Tim had for it. I mean, they lived for Dark Shadows when they were kids. I sort of lived for Little House on the Prairie, but you don't want to make that's not a film that he obviously wants to make. But Dark Shadows, I watched bits, but and some of the original cast were in the film. But they only had one take. They do one episode a day. So because you go because there's some shots of them if they forgot a line, or in fact there's one time when they pan across and somebody's got a script and he actually just, I mean, there's so many mistakes which are really touching, but they said they literally did not have time to do another take. So it's riddled to that. And it's meant to be scary, and you do wonder, were you really scared, Tim and Johnny, by this bat that was obviously paper and just flapping and, anyway.
It's the imaginations, I suppose, isn't it? Now, and the 70s is often disowned as the decade that fashion forgot, and as a woman with a very distinctive sense of style yourself, what did you make of Dr. Hoffman's look in the film and Colleen Atwood's great creations?
I loved it. She really helped me form the character. Tim had a very specific way. She has obviously problems with aging, so she's slightly inappropriate, youthified. Just her skirts are just slightly too short, and she wears socks, and she's got her self-image is slightly off. Well, particularly because she's drunk most of the time. It wasn't the most flattering time. It is bizarre because it is a complete flashback to my own childhood, and our children are in it. And Billy was wearing my brother's, hush puppies and his strange cords, and it's like,
It's wonderful to hang on to all these things because they kind of come back, or they might be.
No, I mean they weren't literally, but it was just like, no, I didn't keep my brother's hush puppies.
Helena Bonham Carter, thanks very much.
Thank you.